Welcome to today's presentation on security frameworks. My name is Eric Olson, and I'll be talking through an in-depth analysis of 5 major security frameworks and their applications in different industry contexts. In our complex digital landscape, selecting the right security framework has become critical for organizations seeking to protect their assets while meeting regulatory requirements. Throughout this presentation, we'll examine how these frameworks differ, their respective strengths and weaknesses, and which industries might benefit most from each approach. We will also address the fundamental access control methods that underpin all security strategies and consider the ethical dimensions of balancing security needs with privacy concerns. By the end of this, you will have a clear understanding of how these frameworks can be applied to strengthen your organization's security posture. Security frameworks provide structured methodologies for organizations to establish, implement, and continuously improve their security programs. They serve as roadmaps for addressing the challenges of securing modern enterprise environments while meeting compliance requirements. We will begin by exploring the primary steps of access control processes that form the foundation of information security. We will also conduct a detailed comparison of the 5 influential frameworks, such as NIST Cybersecurity Framework, the ISO IEC 27001, SIS controls, the FAIR Factor Analysis of Information Risk, and COBIT, Control Objectives for Information and Related Technologies. For each framework, we will examine its core purpose, application scenarios, advantages, disadvantages, and ideal industry fits. We will also address the ethical considerations of privacy versus security from a Christian worldview and conclude by clarifying the relationship between security frameworks and access control models. The access control process represents the cornerstone of organizational security, consisting of 4 essential steps that work together to maintain the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information assets. First is identification. This establishes who a user claims to be, typically through unique identifiers like usernames or employee IDs. Second, authentication verifies that claimed identity through various factors. Something you know, passwords, something you have, smart cards, or something you are, biometrics. Third, authorization determines what specific resources an authenticated user can access and what actions they can perform. This implements the principle of least privilege. Finally, accountability tracks user activities through comprehensive logging and monitoring, ensuring users are responsible for their actions within the system. These steps work together to uphold the CIA triad. Confidentiality is maintained by preventing unauthorized access. Integrity is preserved by ensuring only authorized changes occur, and availability is supported by providing timely access to legitimate users while blocking potential threats. Real-world implementations include multi-factor authentication for sensitive financial data, role-based access control in healthcare settings, and comprehensive audit logs for regulatory compliance. This comprehensive matrix provides a side-by-side comparison of our 5 selected frameworks across multiple dimensions. Looking at core purpose, we can see that while the NIST Cybersecurity Framework focuses on managing cybersecurity risk through 5 functions, the ISO 27001 takes a broader information security management system approach. SIS controls offers prioritized, practical security actions, while FAIR provides quantitative risk analysis methods, and COBIT focuses on enterprise IT governance. Structurally, these frameworks vary significantly. NIST organizes controls into 5 functions with categories and subcategories. The ISO includes a management system with Annex A controls. SIS presents 18 control categories with implementation groups. The FAIR offers a taxonomy of risk components, and COBIT provides 40 governance and management objectives. Implementation approaches range from flexible, the NIST, to highly prescriptive, the ISO. Only the ISO 27001 offers formal certification. Though several frameworks align with various regulations regarding industry focus, NIST was originally designed for critical infrastructure, but has broad applicability, while the ISO has international appeal across sectors. The CISC controls work well in organizations with limited resources. FAIR appeals to the financial sector, and COBIT suits complex enterprises with significant governance needs. These distinctions are crucial when selecting a framework that aligns with your organization's specific requirements. The NIST Cybersecurity Framework provides an adaptable, risk-based approach to managing cybersecurity in 5 functions: identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. It helps organizations understand risks, improve communication, and incorporate cybersecurity into general risk management. The NIST Cybersecurity Framework offers a methodical approach to identify essential assets, implement protective controls, detect security incidents, establish response actions, and create recovery plans. Its strengths include flexibility for diverse organizations, common usage to facilitate effective communication, and regular updates for new threats. Its disadvantages include less prescriptive approach and the need of interpretation and a lack of certification availability. The NIST Cybersecurity Framework is especially applicable to government agencies because of federal alignment, critical infrastructure sectors initially targeted by the framework, and healthcare organizations that want to safeguard sensitive patient data. For instance, financial service firms such as Capital One have applied the NIST Cybersecurity Framework to establish a common security language throughout their organization. The ISO 27001 gives an international method for developing and maintaining an information security management system. This framework uses the plan, do, check, act methodology to focus on systematic risk treatment and evaluation. The ISO implementation for our organization means defining our ISMS scope, conducting risk assessments, selecting controls, implementing procedures, monitoring performance, and carrying out management review at regular intervals. The standard offers international recognition for trust, formal certification for independent security verification, and a wide coverage of controls. Disadvantages are resource-intensive implementation, complex upkeep, and high certification and compliance costs. The ISO is suitable for multinational corporations needing consistent security, financial institutions dealing with sensitive transactions, and IT suppliers wishing to show security commitments. Fujitsu applied the ISO globally to create standardized security, enhance customer confidence, and meet contractual agreements, achieving a better governance and efficient operation. The CIS Control Framework provides prioritized steps for safeguarding organizations from recognized cyber attacks, which are categorized into basic, foundational, and organizational categories and 18 controls. The defensive strategy targets essential security measures against common attack patterns, implementing CIS controls in our organizations with basics like inventory management, secure configurations and vulnerability management, then moves to a more advanced control like penetration testing and security training. Advantages of the framework include that it offers actionable guidance, a prioritization of high-impact controls, and ongoing updates for evolving threats. Drawbacks include minimal emphasis on governance and policy, the requirement for constant updates to counter new threats, and challenges implementing controls in specialized environments. CIS controls are a good fit for small to medium-sized enterprises with fewer security resources, universities balancing openness with security, and healthcare organizations protecting sensitive patient data without being rigid. As an example, a regional retail chain effectively employed CIS controls to protect customer payment data by first implementing the Foundational Implementation Group 1 controls to address immediate concerns and then adding more sophisticated protections incrementally as their security program matured, resulting in improved payment card industry compliance and reduced security incidents. Factor analysis of information risk. FAIR. This framework is the only one that has a quantitative model for information risk understanding and management. FAIR stands out from control-oriented frameworks as it enables organizations to make educated estimates about loss, event frequency, and magnitude using structured calculations and scenarios. Implementing FAIR would transition our organization from subjective risk analysis to data-driven analysis for sound security investment decisions. Its advantages include a quantitative approach to objective risk comparison, clear return on investment calculation for expenditure justification, and compatibility with other frameworks as a supplementary assessment tool. Disadvantages include that expert knowledge is required, data intensive in nature with high input required for analysis, and complexity in explaining complex probabilities to non-expert stakeholders. FAIR is particularly applicable to insurers who need to accurately quantify risk for pricing, banks who must allocate funds among threats, and investment firms calculating security ROI, just as they do for other investments. A large financial service firm leveraged FAIR to quantify the possible losses due to cyber threats, which allowed them to allocate their security budget to the most significant risk and demonstrate the return on security investments to their board. COBIT, Control Objectives for Information and Related Technologies. This presents an enterprise IT management and governance model that links business requirements, information needs, and IT resources. With its 40 governance and management objectives, COBIT provides the capability to align IT strategy with enterprise goals, as well as risk management and resource optimization. Implementing COBIT would establish IT accountability, align IT with business goals, and improve IT function performance measurement, including security. COBIT's main strength includes its alignment to business needs, its broad governance of IT, and its alignment to frameworks such as the ITIL and the ISO. Its weaknesses include complexity, less specific technical security guidance than specialized frameworks, and intensive resource utilization in implementation. COBIT is ideal for large business enterprises with intricate IT environments, enterprises in the regulated industries with high governance requirements, and organizations undergoing digital transformation that require converged security and IT governance. A pharmaceutical company used COBIT to establish a governance framework for regulatory compliance within its global IT operations, enabling innovation and enhancement in risk management, transparency of decisions, and audit outcomes. Choosing the most suitable security framework involves careful examination of organizational concerns to align business goals and security demands. Major factors include corporate necessities and legislation. Healthcare must assist HIPAA. Financial services need PCI DSS, and international businesses may necessitate GDPR, which dictates framework choice. Organizational culture and maturity dictate the choice of framework. Formalized frameworks like the ISO 27001 for hierarchical organizations and NIST cybersecurity framework for agile ones. Resources and capabilities must be practically considered. Considering that the ISO 27001 requires significant documentation and certification costs, whereas the CIS controls provide less demanding options for organizations with limited resources. To have good security, frameworks must cover all of the relevant areas beyond technical controls alone. They must be business-focused, with security framed as an enabler. Frameworks must also deliver measurable results in terms of metrics and key performance indicators to prove effectiveness and progress. The chosen framework needs to address emerging threats and business needs, fostering sustained value instead of static compliance. It is through the evaluation of these considerations that organizations can choose frameworks that address current security needs and ensure long-term maturity. Security standards focus on the protection of information assets, while privacy revolves around individuals' control of personal information. The distinction creates ethical dilemmas when security measures would infringe upon privacy expectations. Privacy should come before security under some circumstances. When surveillance is intrusive, when data is gathered unnecessarily, when security has a disproportionate effect on vulnerable populations, and when transparency is lacking. A number of applicable principles arise from the Christian worldview. The Bible is concerned with man's dignity and worth, and therefore security procedures must be concerned with each individual's worth. Matthew 7:12, "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you," reminds us to consider our own privacy. Christian stewardship would suggest that organizations are obligated both to security and to the trust individuals place in their own information. It would involve a balance between protection and privacy respect. The Christian focus on truth would also call for transparency in security practices where feasible. These principles can prompt organizations to adopt security controls that are minimally intrusive, well publicized, and aimed at protecting personal information. By prioritizing privacy in individuals within security systems, organizations can instill trust as they carry out their protective responsibilities. Industries all have particular security concerns that affect their framework choices. In healthcare, for example, organizations will often pair the NIST cybersecurity framework with HIPAA security rule demands. Leveraging NIST's structured methodology and focused compliance demands for health information protection. Cleveland Clinic used this approach to secure patient data and normalize security language. In banking, the combination of the ISO 27001 and FAIR constitutes a robust security program for control implementation and risk analysis. J.P. Morgan Chase and similar institutions prioritize security investments by assessing quantified risks with a consistent global security management system. Manufacturing firms benefit from the implementation of SIS controls for hands-on security and COBIT for general IT governance as operational and information technologies converge. Siemens protects intellectual property and production systems by aligning security with business goals. PCI DSS to secure payment cards and SIS controls for overall protection have been effective in retail. Target Corporation remodeled their security program following a huge data breach to become compliant and enhance overall security. These diagrams show how firms can combine frameworks to meet compliance needs to reduce threat and achieve business goals while optimizing resource and security. Understanding security frameworks and access control models plays a vital role in developing successful security plans. Security frameworks offer enterprise-wide direction in all areas of security, whereas access control models such as role-based access control, authorization-based access control, and mandatory access control focus on managing access to resources. Frameworks teach organizations about general security, while access control models are concerned with specifically implementing some functions. These mechanisms need to work efficiently together. Frameworks like the NIST CSF or the ISO 27001 establish access control requirements, while models like the RBAC give us tools to fulfill them. Frameworks exert a broad impact on information systems by establishing governance, guiding control selection, managing risks, and ensuring compliance. Access control models, conversely, are deeply interested in specific mechanisms for resource protection, enforcing authorization and enacting separation of duties. Organizations maximize security by choosing the right frameworks for their applications and implementing access control models suitable to their business requirements, technical infrastructure, and risk posture. This approach provides full security coverage and complete access control enforcement. These references are authoritative sources for our comparison of security models and access control frameworks. They include the official documentations by NIST, ISO, the Center for Information Security, the FAIR Institute, the ISACA, COBIT framework, as well as other sources all images created with image generating software ChatGPT 4o. Thank you for your attention today. By strategically selecting and implementing appropriate security frameworks, organizations can enhance their security posture while meeting regulatory requirements and addressing the unique industry challenges. Thank you for your time.